Hi, my name is CalaMariGold, and earlier this week I released the trailer for my mod pack Trepidation. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, go check it out. Link is in the description. This video will be a kind of behind the scenes look on how I created the trailer, my thought process on it. I got lots of positive feedback on the trailer, and some people wanted to see kind of how I do this sort of stuff, so that's what I'm going to be explaining today. So for creating a trailer, for those who don't know, this is my third trailer. I do have a thought process that I go through for each new trailer, and my first step is always to have a basic storyboard in my head. So basically how the trailer is going to play out, and I try to keep it as basic as possible, because a lot of that can change throughout the development process of this. So when I was thinking about Trepidation, I know I wanted a trailer to show off the whole mod pack, but less gameplay and more atmosphere and the theme of the mod pack itself. So not really like a gameplay trailer. So I know I wanted horror. I know I wanted it to be my scariest trailer yet. So I really focused on that as much as I could. I know I wanted some sort of timer, very suspenseful, because that's kind of what you get when you play the mod pack. I wanted to capture that feeling, but amplify it as much as possible. So I know I wanted the timer, which starts at 60 here, because it's kind of the whole premise of the pack. So I really wanted to highlight that, and I wanted to make it pop up throughout the video as much as possible. I really like, with the clock ticking, just really reverby clock ticking, things like that. Really kind of adds to this suspense, because you don't really know what's going to happen at 0, so makes you keep watching. And I know I wanted progressing upwards through the dimensions. This was really hard to kind of showcase in the trailer, I think. If you have no idea what Trepidation is, I wanted to have the viewer know as much as possible. I want them to know that there's a timer ticking down, but also that you are traversing upwards. So especially in this scene here, I tried to capture that, like, the whole premise of this pack is that you go upwards, and then all of a sudden it's a new world, like it's a whole new place that you have to explore. And I tried to keep that consistent. It was a little difficult. I think I could have done a little better showcasing that for people like who totally don't know anything about Trepidation. The last thing was something very minor, and I can't talk about it too much, but I wanted some sort of hinting towards an unknown entity throughout the trailer. It's very subtle, and it's more of a feeling that you get more than anything. But some scenes, especially, like, you feel like you're being watched, and that's the kind of thing that I wanted the viewer to feel, like there's something in the darkness. The whole motto or whatever is go into the darkness, and I wanted to kind of capture that feeling. So especially in this scene here, you turn around and you don't really know what you're supposed to be looking at, but something is maybe back there. It's very subtle. That's what I was going into this, into the trailer. Those are my thoughts. So that's my first step. Step 2 is finding music. I always find music first. I think music and the soundtrack is, I want to say, 70% of the trailer and how the feeling of the trailer is. I think music is more important than visuals or sound, not just music. So I didn't make the song. It's a bit too much for me. But I found a copyright free music. I do that for all my trailers except for the Harvester trailer. Actually, it was a little funny where most of the soundtrack in the Harvester trailer is copyright free, but I edited out the last part of the Harvester trailer to include a different song which was not copyright free. But it's no big deal. So yeah, I looked for music, YouTube, whatever. I found this this song. It's Sleeping Devil by Gothic Storm. Really, really cool, and I think it fits the whole theme of this. It's very, you know, lullabies and kind of typical like horror movie trailer esque music. So I really like that. And so after I find the music, I just kind of put it into the scene, into the timeline. It's the first thing I really do, and start recording. I go in game and go through all my settings. I try to get the highest settings possible with the most FPS. Usually I'm able to max out all the settings to get the best looking image or best looking video possible. And just start going around the world. Really, I know I wanted to start in the Nether, so I started flying around the Nether looking for scenes. And essentially my goal is to record shots that fit with the music that is currently playing. So for the first scene, I definitely wanted to start very ominous and kind of slow. It's a very slow start here. So I just wanted some fly-through scenes of some things, and showcasing maybe some of the spiders here, because I think Trepidation has really scary spiders with the models, so I kind of wanted to showcase that, definitely. This scene I really love. It's used in the thumbnail, and I did some neat color correction here that changes over time to emphasize the darkness here that's kind of encasing you, and so that's what I kind of do. I get a few scenes, I get as much as possible. Sometimes I just like shoot scary stuff and don't really know where it's gonna go, but I just like to have the recording just to see, if it's gonna actually work. I want to say like 80% of the recording I do isn't used. So it's just kind of like extra recordings in there that I just have just in case. So after that, really, I actually finish each part fully, or as much as possible until or before recording the next scene. So essentially what I did here was I recorded these 3 shots, as well as this shot, all the Nether scenes, pretty much all in one go, and added it to the timeline, and did everything that I needed to do to clean it up. So I did lots of color correcting in this trailer, and I am very, very new to color correcting. I am not an expert at it. I just kind of play around and see what I think looks good and what I think fits the vibe of the trailer and the current scene. So something I do use is a lumetri scope here to get the feeling of what this shot is kind of promoting more. So this shot is obviously very, very red, but I definitely wanted to darken that, especially closer to the camera and around the sides, so that this light here on the end kind of is a little ominous. You don't really know what's kind of behind that corner. So yeah, a lot of color correcting is really just kind of trial and error with this. Like there's really not much I can say for the like technicalities behind this. It's really just what I think kind of looks better. I adjust the sliders here. Some scenes I'll adjust some of the curves here. I don't know which ones I did for, but so I can talk more about specific color correction as I go through each scene here. I'll go through every scene and kind of tell y'all what my thought process is on that. But before that, my next process is working on any special effects. Not all scenes have special effects. Most don't have special effects. if I feel like the scene needs something extra to it, I'll add a special effect to it. Usually it doesn't, but for example, this scene here specifically, I listened back to the music and I got a very you know, with the music box that's playing, a very weird vibe to it. I don't know how to explain it into words, but I wanted something to happen here because I know I had this scene here where it was kind of like a mini jump scare, like a spider jump scare there. But essentially I wanted the viewer to feel like maybe there's something in the darkness there, and there actually is. A lot of this was trial and error. Like, it's really just messing around with the effects that I see in Adobe Premiere. Add it to the scene, see what looks good and what doesn't, and so I just kind of keyframed this turbulent effect here, and also actually, yeah, I don't use the twirl, so I just use the turbulent displace here, which I liked. I think it fit with the music, and added something neat instead of, like, if there was no turbulence, there would just be like nothing happening, you know. So it's really boring. So I wanted something happening. But then we have your VHS static thing that I use a lot actually throughout this trailer. So it shows the timer, and then kind of back to normal, like something was maybe screwing with the camera or whatever. Like, there's an entity there that's messing with you, but then it goes back to normal. I don't know, something like that. So that's pretty much that. I'll go through any scenes here that I think need some explanation or anything to talk about. So this scene, actually, I really love the colors in this scene. I wanted to bring out the orange, red, and the lava as much as possible, but make the darker parts of the image look actually like really dark. I would love if Trepidation looked like this. I don't know if there's a color correcting mod that I could add, or mess with shaders probably, actually. But I can kind of show you a before and after. So this is the after, and then this is before. So way too much red here, I think. If we look at the Lumetri scope here, way too much, and it kind of fades out the whole image too much. So with the darker blacks here, you can see a lot better, and it brings out the lava way more. So that's kind of what I do for each scene. Scenes like the Erebus, each scene pretty much has its own special color correcting. A lot of times I'll reuse it if they look similar, but especially for like Erebus, like this has a lot of green. So if you look here, this looks terrible. This looks terrible. And so with horror movies in general, and in horror trailers, I did some research and kind of found out that you really want to get a desaturated, faded look. So you can, there's almost no color in here. There's barely any color, which is really what I wanted to achieve here. So I'm pretty happy with the color correcting here. I cannot over exaggerate how much color correcting is important and like this, because if it looked like this, it would be such a different vibe compared to this. So I really tried to focus on that throughout the making of this trailer, and that's what took the most time, is the trial and error of the color correcting here. So each scene, there's so much orange in this scene right here, so I really wanted to just take that out completely. So there's that. I know in this clip right here, if I can zoom in, we have the spider crawling up, right? As you can see, the spider's really red. in this clip here, and I really wanted to remove that. I don't think that's scary. So what I actually did was used a hue versus saturation curve here to just remove all the red in this image, so it's more brown blackish. I think that's a little scarier. And a lot of what I do here is like changing the speed of clips. So this original clip was actually way slower. If you play Trepidation, this spider is not that fast. You know, that was really fast. But I wanted that to accentuate the jump scare. So sometimes you know, I'll change the speed of a lot of clips, and I do that a lot towards the end, which you'll notice. This clip is really cool because I wanted to get the light from the lava as much as possible. I really liked the red and orange in there, so I wanted to highlight that, and I wanted to show this kind of path of darkness here, but the lava kind of illuminates your way in a sense. So as you can see here, it's a lot brighter, and it's a lot easier to tell kind of where you're going. But the red is still here, but everything is a bit more faded. Same thing with this torch. What I was originally going to do was accentuate this lighting on the torch a lot more, because my goal for this clip was to show how deep the deep dark is. You know, how far it goes until you reach the bottom, you know. To really accentuate that, because it's one of the main features of the deep dark is just how massive it is. So throwing the torch down to the bottom is, you know, one of the classic things that you kind of do to see how deep it is, and it's brings kind of a scary vibe. So what I wanted to do was actually increase the brightness, because I think that's really small. So what I really could have done was get a mask here and apply a different color correction specifically on this part of the image to brighten it out. Right now it's really dark, but I could have increased the exposure or something like that. I just kind of played around, but I played with it, and I didn't really like it. It didn't fit in well with the surrounding image, so I scrapped that. This image, or this scene, is just TV static here. I found online, just TV static template. And I actually didn't even mean to have this first. I wasn't, like, there wasn't going to be TV static at all. It was just going to be black. Like, you just kind of look behind you and there's really nothing there. But I think I accidentally added the TV static to my timeline and realized, like, wait, oh shit, this looks really cool. So I'm pretty happy with that. This scene is digging from the bottom of the surface to the top of the surface. And so here again, I'm trying to showcase the progression where you're coming from underground and you're mining upwards to the surface. And I think I maybe could have done a better job with this scene here, because not really much is happening. Maybe I could have added some scary mob up there in the darkness. But it definitely works. So we got that. So you're on the surface here, and you're kind of traversing through what is essentially the parasite world. And just kind of discovering what's going on and what the new things here. So you're kind of discovering this beacon here. And this, I was so happy with this. I had no idea this was going to happen. I wasn't even trying to get this, but at the perfect time, lightning struck the pig here and turned it into a spider. And so I saw that and I was like, oh my god, that is perfect for you know, for the end of the scene here. So I was really happy with that. And so, you know, after that, you I know I wanted this bunker scene where you witness a parasite, right? And you run to a shelter, some sort of safe haven, and I definitely could have done a better job with this fucking building here because, wow. Yeah, it's just a box. It's not even finished either. It's not even a finished box. It's like, you can't even see the rest of it, so I didn't even bother finishing it. But, I'm not a great builder. So I definitely wanted this scene though where you kind of run to the bunker after you know, being chased by that big ass spider or whatever, and to it kind of cut every time the music kicks in here. And this here is probably my favorite part of the whole trailer. This took forever to do, probably the longest I've spent on a single scene in this trailer, and for so long I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do this. I didn't even think it was going to be possible, but I wanted a jump scare, like a real jump scare, because it was, you know, I heard it in the music, you know, in the soundtrack, and I was like, oh, that's perfect for a jump scare. You know, the soundtrack actually has the door creaking in it, like that's part of the music. So I was like, okay, so I need a door opening. So I used Malice's doors here, because I think this is a really, really cool door, and it kind of fits really well. So what I ended up doing here is this scene is completely separate from this parasite right here. This parasite is actually green screened in, which I had no idea if this was gonna work or not. Honestly, I've never tried green screening stuff in Minecraft, so I'll show you the original here. If I remove the color key, you can see it's just green. So what I ended up doing was downloading a resource pack that included a plain green block, as well as skybox. So it included both of those, and what I did was I made a super flat world. I changed the ground to the green block and changed the skybox with the resource pack. It wasn't perfect. It was definitely not perfect, but it really didn't matter because you can't tell for the most part anyway. And I spawned in a parasite, started running away from it with the Optifine zoom in, and it took so many takes to get the, you know, the right screen space here of the parasite jumping in on my face. And even then, it's still not perfect. I had to do some post-processing here to get it to be on the center of the screen as much as possible. So what I ended up doing was I cut it into a few different clips here, and I slowed down the clip while the parasite was in the center of the camera. So for example, this end clip right here is actually slowed down more than the starting clip. So I wanted the parasite to jump in as fast as possible to really emphasize the jump scare effect. Because without that, it wouldn't feel right, you know, with the jump scare is very sudden with the music you can see here. So I needed to fit that by increasing the speed it jumps in at, and then making it stay on camera in the center of the camera as long as possible. And so this whole thing is very, very subtle. You know, or not very subtle, but very fast. You know, a lot of times you don't really notice this when it's going so fast. So I'll play it here real quick. So maybe you can kind of tell now that I've explained that it comes in really fast and then stays on a lot longer. So that was the parasite jump scare. I also added VHS effect to it because let's see, if we remove the VHS here, it's very underwhelming. It's really underwhelming with the camera not moving. You know, ideally I should have added camera shake to the parasite jump scare. I think camera shake would have really helped sell it. but it's not something I'm really great at. Camera shake in Adobe Premiere is not super easy. I could have tossed it into After Effects and maybe added a wiggle effect, but I think the VHS was perfectly fine and accentuating this jump scare. So definitely the coolest part in the trailer, in my opinion. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do a green screen effect like this in Minecraft, especially for horror. So I'm really proud of myself for that. And so next couple scenes here, they're actually, the rest of the trailer was shot in one sitting, with just exploring the overworld. I let the overworld get infected for, I don't know, just kind of sat there for like 20 minutes and let the whole world be turned into this parasite biome to really show that. And I don't know if I've really explained it, but the time has been ticking down this whole time, and these numbers are random. I didn't have any specific thing to it. I know I wanted to kind of have some sort of realistic approach to the time, so you know, maybe it took you like 20 minutes to get out of the deep dark or whatever. Like this was 19, so it's a few minutes since that scene. So that's kind of consistent throughout the whole trailer. So for these last few scenes, I really wanted to end it on a really great note here. So I storyboarded a little bit beforehand, specifically for these final few scenes. So I marked down how many scenes I needed. I know I wanted a scene for each, I don't know what to really call these, but each time the music impacts, you know, I wanted to change the scene. And I wanted a little jump scare at the end of most of them. So I recorded how many I wanted, and I kind of wrote down, you know, maybe some scenes where like, I know I wrote down specifically, I wanted a scene where you're running away and you're falling into a pit that you don't really see, and there's a parasite jump scare at the bottom of the pit. I know I wanted something like that, so I managed to do that. I think this turned out really, really well. This is a really great model, so really super cool. The rest of them, for the most part, was kind of random, just running through the parasite world and just kind of seeing what shots I can get of the parasites. This was really cool. This is actually like an unintended effect of the shader, where you can see what is supposed to be dark with this light. This is a plant that's in the parasite world, and it's really lighting up this group of parasite mobs behind it. And I was just kind of walking along and I noticed that, and I was like, that is so fucking cool. It's so eerie and ominous, where you can see the legs kind of come out, like just barely. And I think it's a really, really terrifying scene there. But I didn't want to end it on just that. I didn't want the impact to go off and like nothing to happen, so I added a really quick zombie jump scare here, which I also didn't plan to happen. It just kind of happened here. So very, very cool. And if I can show you the color correction changes, by the way, there's so much saturation in this original clip here. So I really took that out as much as possible, and I definitely took away a lot of the glow that's kind of happening, to get a more faded look. A few more scenes here of just being chased by spiders. This is really cool, honestly. This transition here, where I'm being chased by the spider and get attacked by another big parasite here, and you can tell that it's like it feels like the camera's in the same scene almost. So I'll show you. It's a little lag there, but it's a little hard to explain, but it's very subtle, but I think it makes it pop out a lot more. So a few other scenes. We have I think these two scenes specifically could have been done better, where it's just me kind of zooming in on these distant big spiders and this distant this beacon here. But especially with the color correcting here, it's a little hard to tell what's happening in this scene, that you're kind of looking at something distant but you don't really know what you're supposed to be looking at. I don't know if many people were able to kind of know what's happening here, but I hope so. Obviously I know what's happening because I recorded it, but that's something you have to think about a lot when making these trailers, is you really have to remove any bias that you have in any previous knowledge. But that's why you also send it to other people beforehand to get feedback before you upload. So last few scenes here, I know that I definitely wanted the timer ticking down for each second at the last couple of impacts here. And I knew I wanted this since the beginning. Ever since I heard the song for the first time, I would be like, that would be perfect for like a timer pop-up to happen each time there was an impact, to really accentuate the suspense and, like, you know, oh shit, like the timer's about to fucking end, like you're, you know, what the fuck's gonna happen. So I'm really proud of that. These are different scenes of parasites just attacking me, and it's just kind of random shit. This scene really right here is really spooky. You just kind of see like a sheep fucking parasite, and these guys just kind of come out of the darkness. But it's such a fast scene. Like, this is like a millisecond. Like, you don't really know what's kind of happening in that millisecond unless you pause it. But that doesn't really matter as long as you know that you're being like attacked and there's like parasites happening, you know? That's all the viewer needs to know. So, for a while I actually didn't know what I wanted to do for this ending scene here. Where if you listen to the music here, it's a final build up for the final scare or whatever. And so, you know, I didn't know what I really wanted to happen here. I thought maybe like it would be a suspenseful like monster coming out of the darkness to get you. But I couldn't think of a good way to do that. And instead I was like, this is perfect. This is a perfect time to showcase the sort of roguelike element and what actually does happen to you when you when the timer is up, or, you know, yeah. So I got a bunch of scenes recorded of me falling down through the dimensions. And if you didn't get it already, that the dimensions or the worlds are on top of each other, this should hopefully kind of seal the deal that, like, oh, this is all one world, you know? And you're going all the way back down to where you started. And you have to redo all of what just happened, you know? So these are different shots. This is not one take, obviously. There's loading screens in between each dimension. So I had to cut out the loading screens and then make it smooth, or, you know, blend as much as possible here. So I actually added some cross dissolve here, very subtle here. You know, you definitely cannot tell in the video. Like, it feels like it's one take, and that's the goal I wanted to get here. You know, you don't see any cuts. It just kind of, you know, goes right into the next one. So the difficult part of this was I had to speed this up as much as possible. I had to speed it up without losing the effect of you knowing what's happening here. So some dimensions are bigger than others. So the Deep Dark has a much longer scene here than like the Parasite world. And so to fit with the music, I had to really speed up certain parts, and the Nether, like, I wanted the viewer to really see the nether for like as much as possible, so that they really know this is where you're going back to. I didn't want it to just be like a millisecond, like in case you blink, you know. So once you get down, you know, that's it. I wanted to showcase the name. You know, you can have a great intro to a trailer or really anything that really pulls people in. People love it. But if the outro isn't as good, if it doesn't really make them feel wow or amazed, I feel like their final impression isn't going to be as good as it could be. So I wanted to make sure the ending here was really, really amazing. And so all I did was just added the logo here, added a VHS effect to it to really make it pop in. But also there is a preset effect on the trepidation text. Just some vector motions, glows, things like that. And the subtitle, and that's pretty much it. This took about 2 months, not consistently. You know, sometimes I'd work on a part for a little while and then not work on the next part for a week or so. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got feedback during the process, so you know, halfway through the trailer, I sent it over to some people, and wanted to make sure I was on the right track. And I think that's really, really important when you're making something by yourself. You know, you don't really know what the reactions are of other people, so you completely remove that bias, and especially show it to people that don't know what the source material is. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. I know this video was a longer one. I don't know if I'll do this for my future work. But either way, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Go download Trepidation if you haven't already. It's super, super, super cool. Fire, Sword, and I have been putting in a good amount of work to it. And we really like the state that it's at right now. So I highly recommend to go try it out. And of course, watch the trailer if you haven't already. I don't know why you're watching this if you haven't watched the trailer. But thank you so much. I'll see y'all later. Bye!